welcome back to my channel. My name's Tina, and today we are going to check out what nasty stuff is living in our sponges and how to wash them so that we get rid of those nasty things. Yeah, so if you don't want MRSA, strep, E. coli, yeah, all the things that can be living in your kitchen sponge, which is the dirtiest thing in your house, can potentially be living in your makeup sponge. Here's a tip for you. If you have your makeup sponge and you smell it and it smells weird, not like makeup combinations, you know, kind of musty, it's time to probably throw it away. It doesn't need a bath at that point. It probably needs to go in the garbage. They're only designed to last about 6 months because they are sponges. They collect all kinds of nasty things in here. I love this sponge, but it's nearing the end of its life. It has maybe a month left. But I will go find another one, and then I will have my son do the stress ball thing to it for like an hour, and it will eventually turn back into this nice pillow soft little cloud that I just bounce all over my face. I also have this one. This one is much sturdier. It's thicker. It has less give to it. Still a great sponge, but I use it for different purposes and different foundations. So for like my Wet n Wild or my MAC Water Weight Foundation, I love this sponge. For like the L'Oreal Infallible, which is thick, I like this sponge. Because the L'Oreal, when it gets into this one, it like gets in there and makes it all heavy and gross. You're gonna need a sink, a bar of soap, and your sponge, and last but not least, some form of antibacterial. Remember, antibacterial is not antimicrobial. If you want to create a really inexpensive antimicrobial spray to just spray all over your brushes, take about 10 drops of tea tree oil to a ½ ounce little bottle, just a tiny little spray bottle. Combine those two things together, shake, and then spray your brushes. Tea tree oil is an antimicrobial, so it will actually kill a broader spectrum of things than just an antibacterial will. Tea tree oil is amazing. Very few people are allergic to it, and it is safe for almost everyone, especially in those amounts. What we're going to do is we're going to get our bar of soap wet. We're going to get our sponges also dripping wet. Yeah. Take your sponge and you're just going to rub it all over your soap. Like so. You want to get it all over it. It might not look like it's doing anything. It doesn't, right? Okay. Now you run it back underwater and you squeeze it in there, and if it's not creating any suds, you have a really dirty sponge, or maybe too dry a soap. Okay, so I picked a really bad soap for this. I picked one that was nice and pretty and brand new. It ain't working. I have my super cheap dollar store Olay bar of soap here. I'm just gonna get it wet. Okay, so it's wet, and we'll do this again because that other one, it wasn't working. So you just scrub back and forth on your soap, and look at it, it's already getting stuff in it. Yeah. Now, when you are doing this, you should get nasty stuff coming out of it. That's the plan. You're just gonna work that soap into your sponge, and the idea here is that you're getting that soap in there in a thicker concentration than rather if you're just using a liquid soap. Liquid soaps are great, but when you're doing that with sponges, you could spend forever trying to get all the stuff out of there with them. If you've tried that, you know what I mean. If you just do that with a bar of soap, which is much thicker, this process will go much faster. You want to start off with a really wet thing of soap. I didn't, so running into a couple problems there. Now, see how it's getting all over my hand? Yeah, look at that. There's all the gross stuff. You want to rinse that out the sink. Now, black sponges are great. because you can actually see if you still have stuff in them, because it's going to come to the surface right there. So you just take where that stuff is coming to the surface and you work it back into your soap again. And it shouldn't take long, and you'll have a nice clean sponge, unless you don't wash your sponge very often. Then this process may take, a while, unfortunately. You want to set this on a rack because you want it to dry all the way. You want your sponge to dry all the way every day, by the way. If your sponge isn't drying all the way every day, you have a breeding ground for every nasty illness on the planet. Don't do that. So find a place that this can set up and away, out of the way, on something. It doesn't have to be anything special. It just needs to have a place it can air out. So yeah, do that every single day. Now for these sponges, you're doing the same process. You're getting your sponge nice and wet. You're rubbing it on the little bar of soap, getting all that soap worked in there. This one has the infallible foundation in it, and that stuff, oh my gosh, getting that stuff out of a sponge. It's gross, right? All right, so you're just gonna work it around in your hand, and you can see that nasty stuff, right? That means you're doing something right. Keep going. Odds are your sponge, if it's pink, it's going to have staining. Staining isn't a big deal. Mine has, all kinds of weird things on it. This used to be a little pig, I think, from BH Cosmetics, which was super cute. And I really do like this sponge for certain things. It does take a long time to swell up though. Putting it back on that again, I know that I have staining on this sponge, so we're just gonna stress ball your sponge. Stress. Now if you have the little cloud ones, you want to be a little gentler or you will tear it. You still want to stress ball, but not quite so much, not quite so hard. So you just, stress ball, get your stress out, germs out, stress out, germs out. Yes. Okay, so we've done that. Now we're gonna rinse it again. Within a few minutes, your, well, it hasn't even been a few minutes, but within a short amount of time, if you wash your sponges, like every now and then at least, if you're washing them at least weekly, it shouldn't take that long to get all that stuff out of there. Now you're going to take this and put one pump on top of it like so, and we're just going to stress ball that back in there and get it nice and sudsy. And to my little friend, yes, if it is eating all of that suds off your hand, like it's literally just suddenly goes like there's no more suds on your hands into your sponge, rinse it and try it again. If it keeps doing that and you can't get it to stop, you need to throw your sponge away. The reason that it's eating your foam from your antibacterial foam is because it's got so much bacteria in it, it's overwhelming it. So now you'll notice my sponge has gotten even lighter than it was before because it's getting all of that stuff out of it. So it still has some staining, but it is back to that very pale pink that I know that it was to begin with. I forgot, I also need to antibacterial my black sponge. You're just following the same process. You're just putting one pump of foam on there, stress balling it. This one, you're also stress balling. Just don't overdo it because you don't want to tear your nice little foamy thing. If you have nails, be careful and stress ball like this so you don't, tear your sponge by putting your nail into it. And we have it all in there, and now we're gonna rinse it back out. Okay, so that one actually did suck up my foam. Weird, right? It didn't look that dirty. Hopefully my sponge is not now dead. So we're gonna, oh no, it's staying foamy this time. It just had extra bacteria in there. And yeah, so if it continues eating and like eating all of your foam and like nothing you do will stop it, and I'm not talking like this, see how it's still got foam on it, I still have foam on my hands, but it's a lot less, that's okay. It's gonna absorb, you know, some of that, especially these ones that are super fluffy. So don't get paranoid about it, just pay attention. You're gonna notice the difference, because if it's full of icky bacteria, you're gonna have gross stuff leaking out of it every single time. And there is my disease-free sponges. Yay! So excited! Next time I do my makeup, it will go on beautifully, because that's the other thing that happens. If you have a bunch of dried makeup in your sponge, it will change the formula of your foundation, and you will notice it starts going on cakey and kind of weird, and it's gonna go on splotchy because your sponge isn't clean. Yes, you're changing the formula because you're putting dry foundation into your regular foundation and old foundation and this and that foundation if you mix foundations, and it's bad. Just don't do that. I wash my sponges about twice a week, so it doesn't take me very long to clean them. As you saw, literally, this video is 12 minutes long. And I've been sitting here rambling on. That's how I clean my sponges. You're going to see nasty, icky pictures throughout this video because I love you and I love your skin, and I want your skin to be beautiful and clean and pretty and not full of MRSA. Yes. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I hope you'll come back and see me. Love you. Bye.